Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. Bob here. Thanks so much for stopping by. So today we're going to be taking a look at another watch from one of my all-time favorite brands, Damasko. The watch is the DA46 Black. This was lent in by a good friend of mine, Mike. The coolest thing about this particular watch is its age. It's a little over 5 years old, so it gives us the opportunity to see how the ice-hardened steel case that Damasko is famous for is held up. So big thanks to Mike for lending this in. If you're on Instagram, give him a follow at Mike the Watch Guy. So let's get into the Damasko. All right, so a little backstory on this watch. Mike has quite a collection of watches. This was in the rotation, but for about a year, his wife actually wore this as a work watch at their flower shop, and it shows particularly with the AR coating. The AR coating is quite scratched up. There's also some wear to the PVD coating too, but when it comes to the ice-hardened steel case, there is not a scratch anywhere on this. It is absolutely mint. Now, if you're not familiar, Damasko makes their own cases. They're most famous for their ice-hardened steel cases. The steel is nickel-free, and with Damasko's processes, it's approximately 4 times harder than 316L stainless. I've owned 2 Damaskos, and I've seen a few that friends own, and everyone that I've ever seen has been pretty well completely scratch-free. As far as design goes, Damasko usually keeps it simple with the cases and the entire watch really, but it's the tech that goes into these that makes them what they are. I've talked about a lot of that in previous videos, but other than the materials that Damasko uses, they also add technologies making the watches shock resistant. They are anti-magnetic. Even the crown has a self-lubricating cell that keeps the crown nice and smooth to operate for years of use. This one is still buttery smooth and finds the threads very easily after 5 years. When it comes to the numbers, the case on the watch comes in at a width of 40 millimeters. The bezel diameter is almost 42 millimeters, so it does wear a little bit larger. The lug to lug is about 48 millimeters. We have a lug opening of 20 millimeters, and the thickness is 12.2 millimeters. The water resist is 100 meters, and the watch runs the ETA 2836-2 Elaboré grade movement. The dial has the crosshair printed there, which is typical of Damasko. Large, easy to read hour markers. Same goes for the handset. I like that they added a pop of color on the second hand there for some visual interest. Now, one nice little touch is the date. Instead of being right at the 3 and interrupting the crosshair, it's offset just a little bit, but they keep the balance in the dial layout by having the Damasko logo just above it. When it comes to the lume looks to be C3 Super Luminova. Nice and bright lume. It's nothing crazy compared to some of the divers out there, but it's everything you'd need from a watch like this. The bezel is a dual time bezel. It is bidirectional. The action's a little bit different. They're using ceramic bearings that give it a clicky but smooth feel when you turn it. The bezel, by the way, is made from that same ice-hardened steel as the case, so just a really tooly, well-built watch. Let's get it on wrist for a quick look. And here it is, and I just love how Damasko watches wear. If you're in the market for an overbuilt everyday watch, for me Damasko is the way to go. I guess one negative with it that's evident with this particular one is the AR coating on the outside of the crystal. I've never tried it, but if this were mine, I'd maybe try and remove the AR, which would bring the watch really back to its full glory. At the moment, these are listed at 1,570 euros on the Damasko site. I'll leave a link where you can find more info on the watch, along with more details on the tech they're using below. So that's it, guys. Thanks to Mike for lending this in. Hugely appreciated. Thanks to you guys for stopping by, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.